Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we're going to give you our 5 reasons why we have purchased and bought into Chainlink. This is a fantastic project and these are kind of the top 5. There are many, but these are kind of hopefully round it up for you in a nice neat little bow as to why we think VeChain is absolutely a vital player moving forward in the crypto space. Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess we got quite a lot of heat for saying that, we kind of think that this one could get to $64 in 2021. So we thought we'd break down the five of the main reasons why we think it's going to do so well in 2021.
Absolutely. So right, let's go ahead and pull up the desktop here. So as always, guys, if you find this useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it, as do I. And if you're new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, let's jump on over to the desktop and take a look at Chainlink here. So reason number 1 is basically the use case for Chainlink, right? So for those who do not know too much about Chainlink, basically it is your Oracle data feed, right? And that's an important aspect not to be overlooked when it comes to blockchain technology. So blockchain technology basically is immutable, right? It's supposed to be a version of the truth that cannot be edited, and yet real world data, as it's commonly known, is from a centralized source rather than a decentralized source. So a decentralized blockchain to accept centralized data potentially makes it and opens the blockchain up to risk, right, of invalid or faulty data. Chainlink solves this problem, right, by having these oracles that can go into the real world data, verify it in a way that's specific to Chainlink here. And basically, with those APIs to real data, bring it into the blockchain in a trustless and permissionless way, right? So basically, that data is verified, via Chainlink and added to the blockchain. That way, you can have a guaranteed, reliable information, even from centralized real-world data sources. And it's an incredibly important thing, and it's very complicated to kind of explain. So I'm not going to do that in this particular video, but in the nuts and bolts of the use case for Chainlink and why it's so important is it's able to bring in that real-world data into a blockchain environment. So centralized data into a decentralized blockchain technology. So reason 1 is complicated to get your head around from the technical aspect, but top line, it's an incredibly important function that has to happen if we want to see mainstream adoption of blockchain technology. And there are a few other players in this space that are doing the same thing, but Chainlink is by far probably the most I guess, integrated one at this particular point in time when we're recording this video. There are others such as API3 and I think it's Band as well, Chris, that do the same thing. Not in the same way necessarily, but ultimately get the same results, right? Real world data from a centralized source into a decentralized blockchain. But Chainlink by far has the most integrations at this point of recording the video. So very, very good, and is our very first reason as to why we bought into Chainlink. Okay, so the second reason, Chris, is all about DeFi. So basically, decentralized Oracle networks securing price feeds for DeFi. Now, obviously, during 2020, DeFi was an absolute boom, right? Decentralized finance is something that is going to continue, at least in my opinion, to be massive in the future, right? It's going to continue to grow at a very nice rate, rapid rate, if you will. And basically bringing in price feeds for decentralized finance contracts or smart contracts in the DeFi world is vital that those prices that go into the DeFi are accurate, and you don't want a faulty or centralized data source to corrupt the DeFi space. So Chainlink does this very, very well. So basically, the Chainlink network provides tamper-resistant and high-quality price feeds, furthering the growth of DeFi, right? That's their own words on that website here. So this is a highly decentralized and secure infrastructure, a high quality data sources that avid manipulation, right? So avoid manipulation. Prove your smart contracts end-to-end security to users, right? So when you use data that comes from Chainlink here, you're able to prove that it is incredibly secure. A well-maintained shared data resource, right? So absolutely pivotal in creating smart contracts that are robust for the future. So easy to integrate price feeds, and they do make it incredibly easy just by running a function here. And you can read a lot more about that. I'm not going to go into all the details, but basically this will give your users extensive guarantees about the reliability and quality of your smart contracts. Right? So highly decentralized and secure infrastructure, as we said before, high quality data sources that avoid manipulation, and prove you can prove to your users that there is end-to-end security involved. So these things are absolutely massive tick boxes when it comes to DeFi. So extensive monitoring of the oracles as well, so you can see exactly what's going on, and you're able to build DeFi products across a multitude of use cases, right? And there are so many examples, such as stable coins, lending and borrowing, derivatives, right? Asset management. There are so many. I can go into it for a long time. I'm not going to, but basically our second reason here is all about those decentralized oracles for the DeFi space. It is absolutely massive. Chris, anything you want to add on the DeFi aspect?
No, nothing I'm going to add on DeFi next, mate.
Fantastic, right? So that then brings us to our third reason, guys, and this is all about the partnerships, right? So a list of Chainlink's partnerships. This was obviously goes back to May, but they make consistently new partnerships nonetheless. So I think it's absolutely important to understand literally what is going on here. Google Cloud, Oracle, dApps Inc. You have Matic, you have 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, Hedera Hashgraph, IOST. We have Binance, Bet Protocol, Ethereum Classic, Chiliz blockchain. The lists are kind of vast and continue to carry on making momentum. Now, the list of partnerships, I mean, you can pull this up. I'll open this up in a new tab and see if this makes it any clearer for you guys. But basically, you can see all of these guys, right? Pretty much most projects are integrated with VeChain to some degree, right? So obviously you had some big names being mentioned there, but Zilliqa's on this list, OneHarmony is on this list, Matic, obviously we spoke about, Chiliz was on there, RSR and Reserve was on there as well. There's basically, even 𝗕𝗢𝗠𝗡𝗏 is on here, Icon. We have so many other blockchains basically utilizing Chainlink for their oracle and their real world data. And it's absolutely massive. This is just a handful. I think it's grown since May. But ultimately, this is a fantastic list of partnerships and integrations that Chainlink currently have. And that is only ever kind of growing, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, like for me, like they've cast a web, and they're entangled in lots of different projects within the space. And I think, when you've done that, it's really hard to sort of unintegrate it or move to somebody else. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but as long as Chainlink deliver on their promises, why would people move away?
That's exactly it, isn't it? So there's lots going on, guys, with Chainlink. It's absolutely fantastic with the sheer number of integrations and partnerships that they have going on here. It's amazing. So definitely do monitor new partnerships and all that kind of good stuff that happens with Chainlink. It really does make a difference to how much further they're able to push this thing. So then I guess we should talk about the fourth point, Chris, which is all about community. Okay, so basically, Chainlink is fantastic. It has an absolutely amazing use case. It's perfectly built for DeFi, and it has integrations and partnerships in so many other blockchain technologies and real world data sources. It's amazing. But beyond that comes the community, right? So the community is kind of like the central point, the hub that brings it all together. And that is our fourth reason here. So basically, it's a global community dedicated to advancing smart contracts, right? So together, they are making possible next generation smart contracts powered by real world data, events, and systems. And basically, they're saying, be part of the future, get involved, right? So the community is massive when it comes to VeChain here. So you can find news on Twitter and all these other places as well. But ultimately, they have regular events that go on. They have a whole host of active members that are helping to push this thing forward, running validator nodes, etc. It's absolutely massive community, and that's an important thing, isn't it, Chris?
Oh, it's huge. I think they call them the link army on like Twitter and stuff like that. Like, it's important because it gets the news out there. It lets people know. It brings new people into to projects. You've got YouTubers and all of that sort of stuff. For me, it's really important because it's that ecosystem. It's that I don't know. It shows the level of growth and interest in a project. And for me, yeah, it's one of the fundamental things that we look at in a project.
It is absolutely right. So, having a fantastic use case is one thing, being perfectly positioned for DeFi is another. Having all the integrations and the partnerships are great, but if you haven't got an active community around it, sometimes those projects, they start to stale. They don't tend to progress as fast. The fact that Chainlink has, a fantastic use case, perfectly built for DeFi, has all those integrations and partnerships, and an absolutely outstanding community behind them, it kind of means this thing is basically got so much built up energy and momentum, it's going to be pushing forward in 2021. And that gets us over, Chris, to our fifth point, right? Which is all about price, right? So Chainlink's price. And this is an interesting one. I'm going to pull it up on here as well. Let me just find Chainlink on this one and just load that screen for a second there. So basically, Chainlink is this is the chart for Chainlink, right? Just whilst the other screen loads. We can see we've had this channel that we were running into, and unfortunately, when SEC kind of charged Ripple, there was a bit of a downward action here. So we lost momentum. We actually broke down below our trend for that particular day, but we've been bouncing up, and this support flipped into resistance. So it still is resistance to this day to a degree, right? We are hopefully going to get above this very, very soon, and when we do, we're going to start seeing some significant momentum in upward direction. But currently, Chainlink here is trading at $12.80 cents or so, 87 cents, right? So this is actually 10% in the green today as recording this video, which is fantastic. But this thing has so much more potential than just that. It can go so much higher, at least in our opinions and what the technical analysis is showing us in the charts. Currently, it has $5 billion market cap, and I expect that to grow significantly as we progress through 2021. The circulating supply at this particular point in time is 400 million, just under, with a total maximum supply ever going to be available of 1 billion. That is an incredibly attractive prospect as well. Okay, so there is a maximum supply. It is finite, right? It is not going to be an infinite number ever printed. So that is an interesting concept. The all-time high for those references, we'll just put that up here as well for you guys. So the all-time high is $19.85. Okay, so we know what the all-time high is, we know where we're currently trading, and we have this interesting chart coming on. In this chart, we're looking at a few things, right? We're looking at a low point here. Okay, this is on the 27th of July, and a high point on the 16th of August, which was $19.70 according to this chart. But with that said, we obviously had this action here. We fell down, we came and we're trading inside this channel. We can see there's a few areas of resistance and support and all these other good things. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of that in detail in this particular video. But ultimately, our fib retracement here, right, which shows us our low and our high level, also gives us some price predictions based on those technical fundamental things that are happening here. And if we go down, we can see that we have a first extension level here that's going to be targeting $27, right? And that's just up at this level here, which, is going to be difficult to get there. We have quite a few levels to kind of get through, but I am confident that we are going to easily achieve this over time, okay? It's not going to be instant, it's not necessarily going to be quick, but I would have thought that we should be in that $27 range, Chris, and I'm going to say this, by about Q2 of 2021. Okay, and by then we're going to be moving up nicely into these other areas, right? So the next level after that 27 is the $41 zone. Okay, so this $41 right here, this red line, is going to be an interesting zone to get to. And this will be, potentially on momentum that we'll be having during a bull cycle, and potentially could happen in Q3. Moving beyond there, we can see several other areas, right? We have a $54 dollar range, and that is our third extension level, and our top fourth extension level here comes in at $62. Now, these are basically price targets that are driven from the low point that we had down here on the 27th and that high point that we had here on the 16th of August. Now those two numbers are basically saying, okay, with those highs and lows that we were having and the fact that we are still trading within them, then we are likely to see these numbers happen, okay, in the future. These are price targets that will pretty much be in line with what the technical analysis will continue to do. And what I mean by that, if I just show you guys quickly here, is that we have testing spot on these numbers, right? They get tested, they might break through, they might just about be on there, but they are basically testing these key levels, and you can see it multiple times over and over and over. Okay, you can see them here, see them here, and you can see them all over here, right? All of those that I've just drawn up are basically prices hitting a certain threshold, a certain level, and then something happening. Either you're selling off or it gets pumped up, okay? This is what the traders are doing. They're basically looking at these fib extension levels and the fib levels here. They're basically saying, okay, I'll put my buy and sell orders on these key levels because ultimately that's where the things are going to bounce up and down all over the place. So when we know that and we look at all of these other areas, these price targets, we know that we are likely to hit them and something will happen. So guys, it's something that, I guess we speak about a lot here. We say, especially you get a lot of comments, don't you, Chris? Where you say $64, $62, that's not going to happen. But actually, the technicals are there, guys. It's not that we come up and we make numbers up out of thin air. The technicals are there. They are showing us potentially $62 is on the cards here for Chainlink, and that makes it an incredibly attractive prospect. So if we hop back over here, right, we can see that it is $12 currently. And I think even I got in much lower than this. Chris, I believe you did as well.
Yeah.
There's still huge potential in this project, depending on what kind of investment you guys might be thinking of trying to do. Not financial advice or anything like that, but we think that Chainlink is a fantastic project that is going to have a significant return on investment during 2021, and that makes it our fifth reason as to why we bought into Chainlink. We had that fantastic use case. We have the fact that it is poised, ready to help the DeFi space evolve. We have those fantastic partnerships and integrations. We have a fantastic community. And currently, Chris, I think this is undervalued. And that concludes our 5 points and 5 reasons.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would add, Nick, is that you hear lots of noise about links being manipulated, like the price. Well, they all are. So just going to float that out there. All the prices in all markets, regardless of even which market you're in, it's all manipulated. And this is used as a fear tactic to stop people from investing or getting people to sell when the prices are lower than what they're going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately, it's a thing, right? No matter what market you're in, they are manipulated. And crypto space is actually potentially one of the less manipulated areas. Still manipulated, but not as much so as some of these other areas where you have big money in there. Usually the bigger the money that is in, the more manipulation that actually happens. And the banks, if you just look at one of our other videos, were fined $91 billion because they were basically manipulating various different things. JP Chase comes to mind. Is one of the worst ones to have been, found guilty of such a thing. So as always, guys, if you found this useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really appreciates it, as do I. And if you're new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all this said, we hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.